I was 21 at the time, and I was working as a lorry driver. I worked as a lorry driver for roughly 2 years. My shift pattern was 4 on and then 4 off. It was a pretty good work-life balance for me. My route started off as normal on a Thursday evening, starting off at London and finishing at Edinburgh in Scotland. It was a simple route for me and one of my favorites. I would stay on the A1 road and stop at service stations for my rest. I headed out at 7:45 in the evening and was expected to reach my destination around 2:45 in the morning. About 1 hour into my drive, I come to a stop due to an accident. This wasn't a problem for me, as it's happened a few times. I just hope everyone's okay when I come across these things. I was only at a stop for 1 hour, and after that, the traffic was back to normal. It got dark pretty quickly due to it being winter. One of the things I hated most, the main thing, is the weather, as it would sometimes be dangerous due to ice and snow. Anyway, things soon started going wrong. I pulled into the service station and found a place to park so I could have an hour's rest. I had my rest, woke up at midnight, and got ready to hit the road. I pulled back the curtains, and in the distance stood a few tall trees. Between the trees, I had noticed a ghostly figure. It moved quickly, and I didn't quite believe it. I just assumed I was still tired due to just waking up, and I was just seeing things. I headed back off with only 2 hours to go. I had a few snacks to keep me going, and of course my iced coffee. The rest of the drive on the A1 was quiet, and time flew by quickly. I took the exit of the A1 and had a few quiet small lanes to take before reaching my destination. These lanes would creep me out due to no one being around, and also because they were hard to drive down. It wasn't too bad time-wise, as it would only take 20 to 25 minutes. And just like that, I knew something was about to happen. I once again noticed in the distance that ghostly figure I saw earlier. I did start to panic, as I knew I wasn't making it up. I wasn't even tired anymore, so I couldn't blame it on tiredness. I put my foot down and continued the route to get myself out of there as soon as possible. Things couldn't have gone worse for me. Because I was so distracted, I had taken the wrong turn. The lanes were too small for me to turn around. I had to continue on. To make things better, my phone sat-nav wasn't rerouting me, which made me anxious. Finally, after 1 minute, which felt like 1 hour, it rerouted me. Coming to the end of the lanes, I had checked my sat-nav to ensure I was going the correct way. Just as I looked back up at the road, a woman was standing in the distance. I slammed the brakes and wished I never looked at her. She had long, brown, scruffy hair. Her clothes were ripped, and what caught my attention the most was the blood stain on her pale face. I squeezed my eyes shut, and once I opened them, she was gone. I just wanted this trip to be finished. I managed to get to the warehouse and drop off the load. I found a parking space, pulled in, and got some rest. I did want to drive straight back to London and get home, but there is a limit on how much we can drive in a day, and that is 9 hours. I had my sleep, thankfully not experiencing anything. I woke up, and when it was time, I headed back to London. I told my wife everything, and she had said something that made my skin run cold. Her words were, "What if that woman was involved in the accident at the start of your shift?" In that moment, it hit me, and really did make me think, what if she was? And if so, why was she following me? Me and my partner decided to push ourselves and stay the night at a haunted hotel. We have always liked scary things and would always watch ghost hunting. My friend had recommended this hotel as they had stayed there a couple of months back. She stayed there alone and told me she did not experience much, just a few noises throughout the night. She also suggested we go to a display room underneath the hotel. She did not explore it down there, as the backstory behind the room freaked her out. The backstory is that 2 children were murdered in there. Creepy. Anyway, me and my partner set off. The hotel was 2 hours away from us, so we left at 12, hoping to check in for 2. We arrived and checked in safely. My first impressions of the hotel were not great. It smelled like dust and antique furniture. I also had a cold shiver go through my body as I entered. My partner said he felt okay and just said I was probably overthinking it. We headed to our room. We were room 43 on the top floor. We had unpacked our equipment to investigate. We brought 2 sound devices, as it would pick up any unfamiliar voices and sounds. We also brought a detector, which could tell us if any spirits were nearby. We set up one of our sound devices and left it on until we went to bed, and we had planned to listen to it before sleeping. Bad idea, looking back on it now. Anyway, we explored our room. There was a double bed, a small bathroom, and a wardrobe which had a broken door. Our detector did pick up some activity, but not as much as we were hoping, so we decided to explore the rest of the hotel. The hallways felt creepy. We brought our second sound device. This one was a live device, whereas with our other one, we had to play it back to listen. The device picked up some mumbling, but we couldn't make out what was being said until the next thing we heard was, "Help." We then decided to get some food and leave the hallways, as that help did shake us up. We sat in the small restaurant and had some food. We then debated whether we should explore that display room my friend had mentioned, due to the fact we were already creeped out. We thought because we were already there, we may as well make the most of it. We had a tour guide take us to the room, as it was under the hotel, and because no one was allowed to enter alone. The backstory was disturbing, and we wish we never went down there. I felt sick and only stayed down there for 10 minutes. We left as our voice detector said, "We were only young. Please help." We went back to the room, and I just wanted the night to be over. I tried getting to sleep, but it took ages. We decided to listen to the voice detector in the morning. We woke up a few times in the night to scratches at the door and knocking at the windows. This made me unsettled, and I probably had around 3 hours of sleep the whole night. Morning came by, and we tried listening to our device that was left in the room. But as we went to play it, it kept glitching. And in between the glitches, we heard faint screams. We tried to continue playing it, but it just kept cutting out. We decided to leave it alone as there wasn't much recording left. We headed back home, and I couldn't shake the feeling I had when I entered the hotel. I hope it would have gone after we left. But no, I just know for sure we will not be doing anything like that again. I said we liked creepy, scary stuff, but after experiencing it, never again, as you never know what could attach to you. I lived in a fairly big neighborhood and decided it was best I buy a camera for my front door. The main reason I wanted one was because in the last couple of months, a few of my parcels have been getting stolen, so I wanted to improve my home security. I bought the camera off Amazon, and what I liked most about it was that I could link it to my phone and watch it live. It also made me aware of when someone was near. I had it for a few months before anything weird started happening. I woke up, and the first thing I did was check my phone. I opened my phone and saw I had a notification from my camera app. This was usually normal, as a cat or someone walking by would set it off. But this time, it wasn't. I had 5 notifications from 2 till 4 in the morning. I watched them back, and honestly, what I saw freaked me out. Across my road stood a tall man. He was wearing all black. The hood from his hoodie was covering his face, so I couldn't see anything. The video would glitch out, and he would be gone. And then 20 minutes later, he would reappear, and so on. I wasn't really sure what to do. Also, the fact I lived alone made me feel scared. I decided to leave it, and if anything happened again, I would report it. My day went fine, and before I knew it, 2 days had gone by. I had a long day at work, so I went straight home, cooked some dinner, and hit the couch. Everything seemed normal. I was watching a movie and was relaxed. This was until I heard a knock at my door. It was 8 at night and wasn't expecting any parcels. I opened the door slowly, and no one was there. I instantly shut the door and thought I was hearing things. I settled back on the couch, and 15 minutes later, I had a notification from my camera app. My stomach dropped. My trembling hands opened the app, and I was in shock. Once again, across my road stood the same tall man, wearing the exact same clothes. I ran to my door and locked it. I then ran upstairs and called the cops. I explained everything to the call handler, and she said to stay in my house and the cops should be there quickly. I did indeed stay inside. I even locked myself in my bathroom. Minutes passed and the cops got here quickly. I let them in and showed them the footage. They had 2 cops searching the area. Unfortunately, they couldn't find anything. They assured me that they would collect evidence and have cops patrol the area. They took things like that very seriously and were good at ensuring safety within the community. Due to me living alone and being shaken up, I stayed with my best friend for a few nights. I was informed by the cops when I went back home that they still could not find anything, but will not be giving up. I spent days worrying and had sleepless nights. Thankfully, nothing has happened again. But I still panic because to this day, it's never been solved.